My friends, hope you guys are totally blessed in your home groups. I know a lot of you are just regathering and getting back to in-person meetings, and I'm sure that that's been great. I pray that you're really blessed and that your expectation is high for what God has for us in the book of Acts. Remember, the early church really they met in homes. I mean, they had general assemblies in the temple and other places as well, but mostly they met in homes. And so you are living the early church experience right now, which is awesome. And God moved in those homes as they were praying and as they were seeking the face of God, as they were communing with one another. We're going to talk about what the early church looked like according to the book of Acts in a couple of weeks. But today I just want to mention to you, that there should be great expectation that you have because God desires to do a great work. And God desired to do a great work in the lives of the disciples. But there was an instruction that he gave to them. Hey, before that great work happens, this is what you're going to do. You're going to wait in Jerusalem until you are endued with power from on high. Or let me just flip that around. This is what you're not going to do. You're not just going to go out on your own and try to do the things that I've told you to do. You're not just going to go out in your own strength and try to fulfill the Great Commission. You can't do that until you get the power. That's what he said to his disciples. Look, our life is all about that right now, right? You can't go into Starbucks unless you have your mask. You can't get on the plane until you go through TSA. You play Monopoly, you can't you can't collect $200 until you pass go. Like there's just those things in life that we shouldn't drive a car until you get your driver's license. And, in a way, Jesus was saying the same thing to his disciples. Of all this planned for you, it's going to be exceedingly abundantly above all you could ever ask or think. The birth of the church is going to be absolutely extraordinary. The gospel is going to be experienced not just in Jerusalem, but Judea, Samaria, and to the uttermost parts of the earth. But you will not do that until you are endued with power from on high. You have to be empowered by the Spirit of God, the baptism of the Spirit, the filling of the Spirit, the saturating of the Spirit in your life has to take place. Not just a one-time event, but an event that happens consistently over and over and over again throughout the course of your life. Like Paul said in Ephesians chapter 5, don't be drunk with wine in which is destruction, but be being filled with the Holy Spirit. And this was the beginning of that for the disciples. This was what they were waiting for. They were obedient to Jesus, and they waited in Jerusalem until on the day of Pentecost, they were empowered by the Spirit of God. Let's learn to look. We're not waiting for the day of Pentecost to come because the Spirit has been given. Jesus instructed his disciples that the pathway to experiencing the Holy Spirit was by asking the Father to give him to us. And so for what God has called us to in our generation, look, we got a high calling right now because the world is in turmoil. Everyone's been displaced. There's a global pandemic. And all of that to me says great opportunity for a move of God. But if that move is going to happen, God's people must be set on fire. So today, I want to encourage you in your home groups, really lean into the Holy Spirit and ask him to endue each of you and all of you with his power so that we can be the witnesses he's called us to be in these last days. God bless you guys. Have a great night.